Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell. So every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. All right, you see the screen that says Florida. This is from theroot.com. It says Florida school staff behind problematic PowerPoint get put in timeout. Turns out trying to scare black kids literally to death wasn't a good learning tool. Now, I'm gonna post this link in the description box so y'all can read this whole story because I want to get to the main topic. So apparently, somebody in this school thought it was a good idea to bring 3rd and 4th graders into an assembly and scare the living crap out of them. But you know what? Let's just go ahead and read the part that I want to read so I can give my commentary. It says the quote, good grades or die trying assembly. It says the Florida School District launched an investigation after an elementary school pulled its black students into an exclusive assembly addressing their test scores. In that meeting, the children were warned that if they didn't get good grades, they'd end up dead or in jail. Who came up with this idea? Seriously. But you know what? I'm gonna read a little bit more and I think I can kind of understand. I'm trying to be the devil's advocate here. I think I can understand why this was done. Let me keep reading. You read that right. In a state where teaching grade schoolers that slavery had fringe benefits, it's now also a thing in at least one district to blame the students rather than the adults for low performance on standardized test scores. And rather than finding solutions that amount to parents, educators, and policymakers doing better, the chosen remedy is warning the 3rd and 4th graders at Bunnell Elementary School in Flagler County, Florida, that they were on a path straight to jail or hell if the scores didn't come up. Warning all the black kids, that is. The problem is the parents, the adults. Anytime I see a child, I had a friend of mine, we used to say this, when children just can't get right, when they continue to do wrong, you know, kids are gonna test you, they're gonna try things. That's one thing. All kids. You know, it's a difference in if a kid with both parents got good parents, you know, teaching them right from wrong and teaching them on the straight and narrow, trying to be right, getting to make sure they get the grades, make sure they're productive members of the community, and they go out there and steal something out the store because they're hanging with the wrong crowd. Sometimes a kid will do that. Maybe hanging out and getting in fights. Hell, who knows? Maybe even do some kind of illegal activity dealing with narcotics or something. It happens. Even to the best of students and to the worst. The thing is trying to stop that behavior in the beginning so it does not become a habit. And the problem is a lot of these kids, the stuff they do becomes habit forming. And so they become career criminals or career doing what they, you know, being non-productive members of society. I get it. Like I say, every kid is not perfect. But we had a saying that, you know, I blame the parents when the kids turn the way they turn out in the end, because, you know, raise a child as the child's supposed to be, and what they say, he will not depart from the lessons. You know, he may mess up, but he'll come back to his teachings, which is true. But the thing is, hopefully they get a chance to mess up and come back and do right so they can, you know, teach the next generation. But when it comes to these standardized testing, one, kids have to have a work ethic. It has to be placed into them. 3rd, 4th grade, this should have been instilled in them by the time they're 5 or 6, by the time they're kindergarten, 1st grade. By the time they step foot in a school, they should pretty much know how to read something, know how to write their names easily. I remember back in the day, quick story, my oldest daughter, her mother tried to put her in a Head Start program. I don't know why. I don't know why in the heck we did that. And I'm like, this child already knows how to read, write her name. She's gonna be well ahead of these kids. But I wanted to do it, but like I said, I don't know why. I can't remember. It was years ago. Matter of fact, got in there, went there a day or two, go pick her up, and they just singing her praises. Because you got kids in there who can't even spell up. You know, so it's like, what the hell is she in there helping the teacher teach kids, other kids, how to write their names and read stuff like that. So we eventually put her out of there. I said, man, get that child out of there. Because that's not helping her. It's only going to hinder her because she's supposed to be somewhere where they can teach her, not to where she helping teaching them. So we put her out, got out of there. But anyway, like I said, your child should have some kind of work ethic, especially when it comes to learning, because kids love to learn. That's all they want to do is learn. They soak up. They're like sponges. They soak everything up. So give them something good to soak up. Teach them how to read. Teach them how to color. Teach them how to do math, add, subtract before they step foot in a damn school, in the kindergarten or first grade. Easy. I mean, that's simple. But I mean, hell, I guarantee your child has been on some kind of electronic device. Especially if your child does not know how to read or write at this age, I guarantee you they have an electronic device somewhere in their hands at all times, especially over summer. I guarantee you. So this is why I say you blame the parents. 3rd grade, 4th grade. I know these schools do nothing but teach for the test. I get that. And a lot of times these tests could be biased towards inner city youth. I get that. But again, everybody got low test scores. All the black kids, this is who they pulled in there. All the black kids they pulled into an assembly and did a presentation saying if you don't get your grades up, you're gonna go to jail or gonna die. Well, I'm sorry people, but the statistics probably shows that. I'm not gonna say probably, they do. Basically, if you break it down to the smallest compound, statistics show if your kids can't do, let's just say they can't graduate, can't keep up in school, they're probably gonna drop out. They're probably going to engage in activities that's going to be illegal, whether it's committing crimes against other people or committing crimes against themselves, like partaking in the drug use and alcohol use, or maybe even selling or robbing people, jacking folk. Ended up in jail or ended up getting caught up in the crime that they were doing and ended up dead. These are just statistics. We are not saying it's 100% accurate because nothing is 100% out here. Like I said, you can have 10 kids in the same house and 7 of them may go to college and get degrees and start their own families and be married to the day they die. The other 3, you may be living in your house until you die. It just happens. You know, no matter what you do, it's just that person. But again, you want to do something. You don't say, well, hell, if 3 of them are going to be sorry, I might as well just let them all be sorry. No, you're not going to reach 100% of nobody doing anything. So let's just move on from that. Let's forget that. But the adults, it starts with the parents. It starts with the school system. You have to do better with these children. You have to develop their brains early. Give them a chance to make it in this society. I don't care if you're in the projects. I don't care if you're in the hood. Does not matter. A lot of us came from the hood, came from the projects, and made ways out, or at least doing good enough to where they can make a living and not be a hindrance to other people. You know, good old tax-paying citizens. That's what they do, no matter where they come from. But you got to give your children, the next generation, a doggone chance to make it. And a lot of these parents are not. They become single parents. A lot of them become single parents by choice or by design. Dealing with guys who you know are in and out of prison. When you have like babies by a bunch of dudes in and out of prison. Dudes that don't want to work. Dudes that stay with their mama. and yet this is what you're attracted to. But that guy who's in college, trying to do something with his life, want to create a family, would love to create a family with you probably, but you young and you gotta get out there and have fun because all these other guys are doing it. Well, them guys, we'll see where they gonna be at in 10 years. Instead of you trying to say, hey, that guy's doing something good, or my homegirl is like trying to go to college, going to school, going to the military. Maybe I should try it too, because I got to get up out of here. It's too much mess going on that I'm a part of. But like I said, you got to give them babies a choice. You might make a bad choice, but doesn't mean you have to dwell on it. You get out of that and do better. Like real talk. Let's say the students were pulled out of the class Tuesday for a hastily made together PowerPoint presentation on grade averages per First Coast News. So basically they told the kids, look, shoot, if y'all can understand how to work these dang iPhones, you can understand grade averages. Y'all are not, let's see, the black students were referenced in a section titled The Problem and were described to have underperformed on standardized assessments for the last 3 years. Remember like LeBron, y'all remember the story the other day? LeBron's school ain't passed no standardized tests in 3 years. Right? Let's say when 41% of the students should be at a level 3 or higher for the ELA math subjects, only 32% were performing. So you only want 41. See, that's why I like the school systems, man, because they gotta, like I said, they teach for the test. So they have a certain percentage of kids passing the test. Now you can have kids that are smart as hell and can do math, science, English, STEM, all that kind of stuff, but they can't pass the standardized test because of the way it's structured. So what they do is they teach for the test, teach a little bit of the stuff they need to learn, and the majority of the time is geared toward the test, because if they get a certain amount of students to pass their test, they get their funding. You feel what I'm saying? But when they go out there in the real world, they can't add 2 and 2. They can't count back change. When you go to the store and your total is like 11.25, and you give them 20.25, they don't know how to give your change back. Look at you crazy. They sweating. You know what I'm saying? And fart bubbles coming out their butt because they nervous because they don't know what to do. And they gotta call a manager. Cause they just used to pulling out a card or something. It's like, come on, man, this ain't hard. You ain't even gotta go to the register. You ain't gotta look at the screen for this. And then they don't even count the change back. They just hand it to you and say, there you go. Like, what? Anyway. They say, though, in addition to building morale and offering solutions to help the children excel in their testing, parents say their kids were given a disturbing warning about what their future looks like if they get bad grades. They said, read more. They say Fox 35 News spoke with the 2 students. With their parents' permission, the 2 students were pulled from class on Friday to attend a special assembly. I said 2. I'm looking wrong. When they got to the assembly, the 9-year-olds realized that it was being held just for the black students in the school. Hell, if it was a dang concert with Dirty Red, Sexy Red, Funky Red, whatever her name is, it was only black students, wouldn't nobody have a problem with that, right? Quote, I was embarrassed, said Kennedy Robinson, because they put us in the cafeteria because of race and the color of our skin. Same thing, Kennedy. Talk to your mama. Jeff said the assembly scared him because of what one of the teachers told the black students. You remember the Scared Straight back in the 70s? Hell, they might need to be scared straight. Tell you the truth, I mean, I'm just saying. I didn't like how he said if we don't have high scores that we could get shot, dead, or end up in jail on the side of the road, explained 9-year-old Jeff. I'm quite sure he said it a different way, but that's how Jeff, 9-year-old mind, took it. It made me feel uncomfortable and unsafe. I don't want to go to school now because I don't want to end up in jail, the side of the road, or get shot or anything. See, that's probably something his mama told him. They don't want to go to school because they talking about they're going to end up in jail. No, you need to go to school so you don't end up on the side of the road or in jail or shot or dead. You're missing the point. You're trying to make all the kids on hell. That kid probably don't want to go to school anyway. So now you just done gave him a reason to say why he don't want to go to school. It just don't make sense. It says standardized tests have long been criticized for racial bias due to consistent achievement gap between white students and black student test scores. I mean, one of the founding fathers behind the standardized test, Carl Brigham, believed black people were inferior and therefore could harm the education system. He said to tell the truth about the standardized test is to tell the story of the eugenics who created and popularized these tests in the United States more than a century ago. Eugenics today are commonly considered to be racist, but somehow many Americans consider the test to be not racist. Whatever that means, said author Ibram X. Kendi in a statement in 2020. Interim Flagler Superintendent Lashika Moore issued not just one but two statements trying to make amends after parents responded to the incident with outrage, each of which came right ahead of her interview to be superintendent full-time per Flaglerville Live. The report says the head of the Office of Professional Standards is currently leading an investigation into the incident, and the findings may result in disciplinary action. So again, like I said, you gotta blame the parents, but here's another thing. Kids talking about they don't want to go to that school. I saw where a parent said they're talking about pulling their kids out of the school. Question is, where you gonna send them to? Because the same things, because here's the thing. These are the people who are like Biden voters or Trump haters. You know, got to get Trump out because he's racist, because he said something racist. What did he say? I don't know. He said grab him by the pee. That's not racist. Well, he stopped black people from moving to his apartments. Yeah, that was his daddy. And it's a lot of folks doing that, did that. Still do it now till this day. But Biden, I can tell you things, I can show you things, you can look up things that Biden did that harmed black people considerably. Oh no, Biden's a Democrat. He's not racist, but Trump is racist. How's Trump racist? I already told you, well, you didn't tell me nothing. See, those type of people who sit here and say, I need to pull my kids out of school, because no matter where you go, now, mind you, Trump and Biden, like I say, two wings on the same bird. Don't trust now in one of them. But you go with the person that does more for you or does less harm. If you have to, get out there and vote. If you have to, but you don't have to. Vote for them too. You can vote for anybody else. Whether they win or lose, you can vote for anybody you want to. You don't have to say, well, I would vote for this guy over here, but since he's not going to win, I'm going to go ahead and vote for one of these guys. No, vote for who you want to. That's your right. You understand if this guy said that he's going to do something for you as a people, give you reparations, help cut taxes, because, you know, the tax codes have discriminated against you for long enough, but again, you can't really prove it constitutionally, and that's the thing that hurts a lot of these claims, is that you know that the test is biased, but the test does not come out and say it's biased. So you really can't do nothing against it. I mean, you can look at statistics and say, hey, something's not right. We need to change this up. Well, there's nothing in the Constitution or in the laws that say we have to change it up, because the test don't come right out to say that this test is geared for white people. So there's really nothing you can do on that front. But you can do this. Pull your kids out of school, homeschool, or send them to a school that's not just majority black kids, but majority black staff, ran by black people, and controlled by black people, and the curriculum dictated by black people. Not being racist. I mean, hey, like I say, I respect everyone, every race, everybody. But when you are down, when, again, your test scores are so low, the educational system is not teaching your child basic fundamentals to make it in this world, in this country. When they want to allow, when they're allowing slavery, the whole history of slavery, to be changed and to be corrupted, into teaching how great it was and how beneficial it was and wasn't that bad, and all that kind of bull. And you get so upset that you want to protest. And you want to talk to your lawmakers, and they get up there and say the same thing with you. And then right around want to make sure, don't forget election is, coming up in a few months. Don't make sure, don't forget we fighting for you. And they're always fighting for you, but I ain't never seen them Sun Guns win a match. They might win a couple of rounds here, might even stagger the opponent, but I ain't seen them really win nothing in the grand scheme of things. But they're always fighting for you. If you, let's say you had a group of homeboys or a group of homegirls, whoever listening to this, and y'all gotta fight against another neighborhood. And every time y'all go out there, you grab this group and y'all go out there and y'all get y'all butts beat. Every now and then you might trip somebody. Every now and then you might get a lucky blow. But then y'all always getting beat every time y'all go out there and fight these folks. Don't you think after a while you may just want to say, hey, we done fighting, or we gonna have to get another team out here, maybe some bigger, stronger, or get some people, or get some better training, because for some reason we ain't winning. I'm tired of getting my butt beat. I think you get tired after a while. So really, after about 50, 60 years of following this Democratic Party and the people that are still in office, I think after a while it's time to find somebody else to follow, to help. But if you're tired of getting beat down in the education system, your best bet is to find you like in Dallas, in South Dallas, they got this St. Philip School. Everybody can't go, but some kids can go. It's a great school. I don't know if it's completely ran by black people, but the education they get is way better than the DISD's education system. They're geared for teaching and for the kids to learn. Small school, not as big as a church, but it's a great little institution. And it's small. There's nothing wrong with it. It's probably the best place to learn, to have your kids learn, is in a small setting. You can't go there. There are other little private schools that you can send your kids to. You can send to, if you live in a city that has them, Nation Islam school. I would say you can find a small private school. I would say mainly, with black kids, because unfortunately there is a lot of racism in these schools. I went to a private school when I was younger, and so did my sister. I went for a few years. She went her whole tenure up until junior high school, I believe. But there was, some bigotry and some racism in that school. It was a Christian school. But people gonna be people. I don't care what God they follow. They gonna be who they gonna be. A lot of times in the name of the God they follow. You feel what I'm saying? But if you can find a small private school, religious based or non-religious based, that you feel that education wise will, because you're gonna deal with racism everywhere, so it probably really don't. You gotta think about which battle do you really want to fight, which one you really want to fight. You find opportunities for your child. You don't sit there and complain. You can voice your complaints, put it out there in the world, but then you make sure moves are made, and they gotta be made quick. They have to be made quick. Forget the assembly. The only reason why the assembly is there, I feel, is because I feel these teachers and this staff has tried to talk to the parents, and it goes in one ear and out the other. Stiff-necked, hard-headed parents who don't want to hear it, who ain't really trying to do it, who's saying, yeah, y'all better teach my kids. I'm sending to school every day. But them your children. So what are you teaching them? If you ain't teaching them nothing, then you failing. Period. So that's what I think. I think they got desperate. Desperate times come for desperate measures. So they said, hey, we're going to talk to your parents for years. Ain't nothing got better. Let's talk to these kids. Maybe they'll understand. And we got to hit them hard. We got to scare them. We got to scare them straight, as they say. Don't make them scared straight or whatever. How you say it. You got to put the fear of God in them, because it's not working. It's not working trying to talk to these parents. So they thought about going through the kids, and it just didn't turn out the way they thought. But hey, I can't really fault them because they got statistics on their side, and they telling so they tell mainly for the most part telling the truth. This could happen. You are increasing your chances. Yeah, anybody can get shot, go to jail, or be laid on the side of the road at any time. Anybody. But again, trying to decrease the odds, or trying to put the odds in my favor of being successful. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below and then share it with the world. And with that being said, I leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.